Hi YouTube, it's me again. I'm going to share with you another dream that I had, and it's a Rapture Dream. So here it goes. So, in my dream, we were in the kitchen. Now, in my dream, we were older, so my mom was in her 50s, my sister was in her 30s, and I was younger than my sister. But in real life, I'm older than her. My mom had a weird request. She wanted to become blind. So, being obedient, I took her eyes out. Now, it wasn't gory or gross, with the entrails and the blood and the veins and the eye juice and all that. It wasn't gross. I just took her eyes and put them on the table and gave her artificial eyes. Another thing that I knew we were older was my sister could drive. We lived in an apartment complex on the first floor in my dream. So one day we were driving and my sister was the driver, and she was the driver of a white convertible. And my mom was in the passenger side, and I was in the middle of the back seat. We were in a little traffic scenic route area, and my mom said, "God sneezed." She said, "God sneezed." And we were like, "God sneezed? God sneezed?" My mom was wearing a floral print scarf that blew in the wind. While we drove. She was smelling the air, with her eyes closed because she was blind. And, she was raising herself up and just smelling the air. And in a split second, she was gone. She was gone. My sister and I were tremendously sad. We were so sad. I felt the pain. It was so terrible. But we didn't show it to each other. We drove home and we parked the car and we were walking to the apartment. And a neighbor of ours, with two dogs, said, "Where's your mom?" We didn't answer her. And then she said, "Your mom was good to go in the rapture." Then we went inside and sat in our living room. And we wanted to know what happened to our mom, because we were so sad. We knew she went up, but because there was no death. But we were just sad, because she wasn't there anymore. So out of nowhere, we both had a vision that the ceiling had two holes on it, and it was kind of broken, and we floated up to the ceiling as little white glowing balls. And then we were up to the holes and we turned human again, and we were still floating, and broke it open more. And my sister said, our hands are in heaven. So we poked our heads up into the holes, and we saw a garden. The garden in heaven. The garden was small. It had flowers that were so beautiful, the flowers' colors, like flowers on earth. If a blue flower, it would be just blue. It was pretty, but in heaven it had depth. From the inside out, it was blue. It was solid. It was beautiful. It had life, mad life. It was so beautiful. And there were garden benches, and it was those white, heavy, expensive, it has designs on it, garden benches that are so beautiful. And the grass was so green, like it was so clean, uniform. It was just beautiful, almost like a carpet, just so beautiful. And it was the sky was so blue, like the sky had a different blue. Like this earth does not have what the sky had in heaven. Like it wasn't sky blue, like light blue. It was a different blue. It wasn't light blue. So my mom, she was sitting on top of one of the garden benches, and she had her hands in her lap. She was rocking back and forth like a child, hyper child, or one that wants to do something real bad but has to wait, And Jesus was standing next to my mom, and he had no shoes on. He was barefoot on the grass, and he had a tunic, and the tunic was so beautiful. It was almost the color of natural vanilla ice cream, and the lining was gold, and it was so pretty, like so beautiful. The whole tunic was just beautiful, and his hair was brown, but you couldn't tell that it was light brown. I mean, you couldn't tell that it was wavy, curly, straight, because you couldn't tell. It just was not. You couldn't tell if it was just wavy, just curly, just straight. Jesus looked straight at me and said, "Your sister is coming up in 6 months. And a year after your sister comes, you will come up." So the vision ended. And sure enough, we went on with our own lives. We were sad, but we went on. My sister went to work. I went to work. We came home, we ate dinner, we were very quiet the whole time. And then she went up, and I was crying, and I was so sad, and I just felt so much pain, and I was so sad. And then it panned out to a different scene, and it was a funeral service for not a funeral service, a memorial service for my sister. And I didn't know why they had it, because I knew she wasn't dead. She was she was raptured. So I didn't know why they had a funeral service a memorial service for her. And then it zoomed into an old woman and an old man sitting in a chair. The man was sitting in the chair, and then the woman was standing next to him, next to a nice lamp, on top of a coffee table. A side table, and had little books on it. And he was holding a memorial booklet for my sister's memorial. And he was crying. He was crying so much for her. Like, in the dream, I felt his emotions. His heart was so heavy, and he was so sad. Yeah, and that's the end of the dream. Tell me what you think it means, in the comments below. And may God bless you and keep you.